Hi, my name is Alicia and you're watching the Reptile Rendezvous. So today's video is going to be a little bit different than my usual content. Instead of doing educational stuff today, we're actually just going to be talking about my personal reptiles. And I'll be showing them all to you guys as we go through this video. So quickly, here's my little backstory on my relationship with keeping reptiles. So ever since I was young, I've always loved animals, and I did have a little bit of a niche interest for reptiles, but I didn't really explore it until I was a bit older. I remember in elementary school when a reptile education program actually came to our school, I was the only kid who wanted the 20-foot snake around her neck. I've been keeping reptiles for about 4 years now, and I currently have 5 animals and don't plan to actually get any more until I move to a different place, because at the moment I live with my parents and that is their max that they are allowing me to have. Another fun fact about my animals is they're actually all named after Greek mythology or just Greek things in general, because I love Greek mythology and I also love Greece. I also have so many dream species I want to keep in the future, and I'm actually going to be making a video about that next week, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. So my first ever reptile is actually the troublemaker who is sitting on my floor right now and attempting to delete the script for this video. This is Zeus, my bearded dragon. I got this guy July 11th, 2021. He was 3 years old when I got him, and he's 6 years old now, and he's very grumpy. So I actually bought him from a breeder who couldn't breed him due to a kink in his tail, which you can see here, and he was actually super cheap for a regular bearded dragon. He also came with an enclosure at the time, but he definitely has been upgraded since. He is now in a custom 4x2x2 enclosure. So you're probably wondering to yourself, that is a big bearded dragon, and yes, he definitely is. So he was actually power fed superworms as a baby, and that led him to just being so big. And that might seem like a cool thing, but realistically it's not, because it does shorten their lifespans. But he is my sweet boy and I love him so much. As my first reptile, he'll always have a special place in my heart. One of my first tattoos, which I'll put a picture on the screen, is actually of Zeus, and he's just full of personality and he loves to give you the biggest side eye. So for my first reptile, he was definitely a huge learning curve, but I absolutely love him and I wouldn't change anything for the world. So this is my big boy Zeus, and we will be moving on to the next animal. So my second reptile is a little bit less active, and that is Nyx, my ball python. So I got her July 10th, 2023, but her birthday is actually predicted to be more around May or June 2023. So she's going to be 2 years old on June 31st, so in not very long. She is a blue-eyed Lucy, but more specifically her genetics are Butter X Mojave, and she is Het for Clown. I bought her from the same breeder as Zeus. Originally I was looking for a corn snake, but the breeder actually convinced me otherwise to get a ball python. And I will admit, a corn snake would have definitely been a lot easier as my first snake, like mentioned in my last video. But I am super happy I went with her, because she is my sweet girl and I love her so much. Now I will say, in the about 2 years that I've had her, she has had some issues with her scales and with her eating, and it's been something we've been working on for a long time, and it finally seems like her scales are clearing up completely and she's actually eating again. So I'm currently keeping her in a 4x2x2 New Age pet enclosure, and she actually has a semi-bioactive setup. She doesn't have any real plants because she would definitely squish them, but she does have a cleanup crew in there of powder orange, powder blue isopods, as well as springtails. As you can probably tell, she is a pretty chill, calm, a little bit shy snake, and she's actually a great animal to introduce to people who are afraid of snakes, because of just her overall calm nature. She's definitely the reason I personally fell in love with snakes, and why I really want more snakes in the future. So my next animal that I got is actually my crested gecko, Feta. Now I will not be taking her out for this section because she is having some health issues currently, and I want to make sure that she's not getting too stressed. So I'll insert clips of her over the video. So I got Feta at a Reptile Expo on June 8th, 2024, and she was actually born in 2019. So she actually turned 6 years old this year. So her morphs are Harlequin and Dalmatian, and she actually used to be a breeder gecko prior to me actually getting her. I'll definitely put a picture of the breeder I got her from on screen, because they are super nice and were very helpful. So she currently lives in an 18x18x36 enclosure, the one actually right behind me on my left here. It is bioactive. It does have a real plant as well as a cleanup crew. Her cleanup crew is the same as Nyx, so the powder blue and powder orange isopods, as well as some springtails. I'm sad I can't take her out today, because really she is such a sweet the calm crested gecko. And yes, a calm crested gecko, believe it or not. She's definitely going to be my first pick when someone tells me they are worried about reptiles and want to slowly interact with them. She is a great animal for that because she's calm, she's small, and she's very cute, and usually that actually entices people. So that's my little bit on Feta, and now we'll move on to the next animal. So my fourth animal was actually one of my big dream species, and I feel so lucky that I get to keep her. So this is Pandora, my Hog Island boa. She's very, very active and super curious right now, so it's going to be a little bit hard to handle her for the video, but I am making an effort. So I actually got her January 17th, 2025. I got her from a man on Kijiji who was selling some of his reptiles because he had to downsize. So she's 5 years old and she's roughly 5 feet long, so that's probably the size she's going to get. So she is a dwarf boa constrictor species, which basically means that she is just a BCI but smaller. They're native to the Hog Islands, which is the reason why they became a dwarf species. So she is currently in a smaller enclosure, but she is getting a 4x2x4 that I am making a custom background for, so it's going to be super fun and it's going to look amazing, and I'm just really excited for her to have all that space to explore and climb. And like I said, Hog Island boas were a huge dream species of mine, so I'm just so happy I get to keep her and get to look at her every day as she comes out and bask in her heat. She also has the best appetite. I never have issues with her eating. I will say she's a little cage defensive and she tends to get a little upset when you take her out, but other than that, she is just the absolute sweetest snake. So if you love boa constrictors and you're looking for something that won't get as big as regular BCIs do, I would definitely recommend dwarf boa constrictor species, especially Hog Island boas, because I just think they're so beautiful. And I will say the last two reptiles are definitely the craziest. We just had Pandora and now we have Astro, my crested gecko, who as you can see is a little bit crazy. So technically Astro is my dad's crested gecko, but I do care for him completely, so I would consider him basically mine. I got him February 6th, 2025, so he is also a very new addition. He just turned a year old. His birthday is May 31st. He's a dark porthole crested gecko, so all those little spots you see on him are actually portholes, and they will get bigger or smaller or just change color as he gets older. And I will say my experience with his breeder has definitely been the best out of anyone I've bought animals from. Not only did they give me all the information I asked for, but they even checked up on him a week after I actually bought him. Currently, he's in this 18x18x24 right here, but once he becomes full grown, he will be getting the same size as Feta. The goal in the future is to hopefully get him to breed with Feta, but unfortunately, we can't guarantee that, but if it does happen, that would be great. He is definitely my most active reptile, and he won't hesitate to jump on you with that one little brain cell of his. So that is all my reptiles. I know this is probably a shorter video. I just want to show you guys all my reptiles and just give you a general idea of what I keep and what I like to keep. And in my next video, I'm definitely going to talk about my dream reptiles and species that I really hope I can keep in the future. So if you liked this video or you're excited for the next one, definitely hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know every time I make a new post. Even he's telling you to do it. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.